かも危ない。立てるか。
こそ殺傷魚。
早男がやった。何のことだ。今頃は海の上だ。どこへ向かっている。極東地下牢獄。牢獄。何のために。誰の差し金だ。カズマ様。カズマ。俺が操る暗黒の力にかなうものは何もない。この世では力ある者が世界の支配者となるのだ。だが真の無敵を誇るにはただ一つ足りないものがある。究極の力、民道最終奥義。それを手に入れるためにお前がどうしても邪魔なのだ。わかるか将軍。貴様のことだ。
The unmistakable clue that lets you know this is a 90s CD-ROM based game. Continuing on with the Shinobi month, the next game I'm going to talk about is Shinobi-X for the Sega Saturn, or Shinobi Legions as it was known in Japan. Shinobi-X is a traditional side-scrolling action game, which means that each level must be finished from left to right. Along the way, Shinobi will come across various foes and obstacles that will test the player's skill, including boss encounters. The gameplay itself is largely the same as that in Shinobi 3. However, this time emphasis lies on the use of Shinobi's katana instead of his shuriken, and separate buttons are now used to control them. The 4 ninjutsu techniques from earlier Shinobi games have also disappeared. Instead, Shinobi gains his special abilities by picking up various items scattered across each level. Among them are simple power-ups or temporary ninjutsu abilities, such as the Great Sword or the Bunshin Clone Shield against enemy attacks. Also found in each level are blue orbs called life spheres. Every time the player manages to collect 10 of them, Shinobi gains 1 life. Some item crates contain bombs that will damage Shinobi if he is standing too near. The plot of the game is very similar to the one used in Revenge of Shinobi, but instead of his girlfriend being kidnapped, it's one of his fellow students, Aya, who has been kidnapped by Shinobi's brother, Kazuma, who wants Aya to teach him the ultimate technique, whatever that is. The plot isn't important to these games, as long as the action is good. The gameplay in Shinobi-X is very similar to previous console Shinobi games, which consists of 1 or 2 hit kills for the enemies, and lots of platform jumping sections, which I am never any good at. And this is probably why I really hate these bits. When you look at Shinobi-X, it's very much a game of its time, being made in the 1990s and designed for a CD-ROM based console. Developers of the time were all obsessed with full motion video clips, or FMV, and please do not attempt to adjust the quality on your YouTube session. The footage really is that pixelated. It's less painful in the eyes if you change it to 360p, and it does smooth the appearance out a little. What changing the settings won't do, however, is improve any of the terrible acting.
Oh yeah.
残念だったな。この女が欲しければ北の地に来るがいい。
お前らの狙いは何なんだ。
おじけづくなよ。
Looking back at old games from the 90s that utilised FMV, it's really cringy when you see the quality of the acting. Budgets were tight and turnaround for development was quick, so these scenes were shot in a hurry. These scenes, as cheesy as they are, do not take anything away from the game at all, but at the same time, they don't add anything either. Another fad from the 90s was the use of digitized graphics, and this is a style of graphics I have always hated. Whether it was the awful Pit Fighter or the mediocre Mortal Kombat, I always failed to see what the appeal was. And Shinobi-X is no different in that respect. The movement of Shinobi seems clanky at times, and he sort of moves like a mechanical object. So when you stop mid-stride, there is a delay for the positional reset of the character, and that is a consequence of using digitized graphics. The enemy sprites are almost all digitized as well, and the use of digitized characters gives this fuzzy, out of resolution look to the game. The explosions look really bad in this game. The bomb looks like the kind you would see in a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. The backgrounds are nicely drawn though, with a mix of digitized and traditional that works quite well. And in that respect, the graphics are like a kind of metaphor for Shinobi. You have the traditionalist ways of the ninja, shurikens, katanas, etc. And then you have the modern settings. These are not games that are set in ancient times. audio, as you would expect of a CD-ROM based game, is really good throughout. The music in particular is excellent, with lots of authentic wind instruments such as the Hochoku and the Kagarabue used through most of the score. The title screen music is really good and gives off this ancient vibe, and the music from Stage 4 Tunnel Trouble is a perfect mixture of old and new. But the music used in Stage 9, Kazama's Fortress, sounds like a rave, but strangely suits the game and the scene. It's just brilliant. The sound effects are also really good, especially the sound of the katana as it slices its way through an opponent. The sound of the katana deflecting shurikens and throwing knives, and the sound of the crates getting cut open. You would expect CD-ROM based gaming to have top quality sound, and Shinobi-X doesn't disappoint at all. The gameplay of Shinobi-X is pretty much the same as other Shinobi games that have come before it. And while Shinobi-X is a good game, it's not really a great game. It's not awful, but it is a Shinobi game that fell short of the mark for me. It's not the worst Shinobi game I have ever played. Cyber Shinobi wins that dubious distinction. But playing Shinobi-X, it doesn't feel as polished as, say, Revenge of Shinobi or Shinobi 3, and I can't help but feel that an opportunity was missed. I always felt that it was a bit rushed to market, just like the Saturn. The Saturn was 32-bit and part of the 5th generation of consoles, and so much more could have been achieved. 32-bit should have all been about 3D, polygons and the like. Shinobi-X was very much a 2D game and never made any use of the new technology available to it. But disappointments aside, it's a game that provides a decent challenge, and it is also a long game to play. A skilled player will probably spend a little over an hour to complete the game, and a bit longer for less talented players. There is no save or passcode option in the game, so you have to play the game from the start each time, and there are various settings you can tinker with in the options menu to increase the challenge if you like that sort of thing. This was one of the first games I bought for my Saturn. When I purchased it, it was available in second hand in GeForce in Glasgow. I was surprised to see the Saturn had a used game range already, as the machine had only been out for a few months in the UK. But it was £20 and an absolute bargain as far as I'm concerned. I may be critical of the game, but that is purely because Revenge of Shinobi set the bar so high, and when a new Shinobi comes out on a new platform, I had expectations that were not met. But my opinion of the game is that it is a really good game that fans of the franchise should definitely have a go of. And for those people who have never played a Shinobi game, then shame on you. But if Shinobi-X is your first play of a Shinobi game, then don't be put off by the franchise. Go and have a game on Revenge of Shinobi or Shinobi 3. In closing, I would say this. Shinobi-X was a mixed bag really. It is a fun game to play, but not as enjoyable as the 16-bit efforts, and could have been better than what it was. But I guess Sega were going with the trend of the time for FMV and digitized graphics, which did alienate a few gamers, me being one of them. But ask yourself this. In this modern age of video games, where textured polygons provide super realistic visuals and older sprite games get a new fresh overhaul, why do we not see digitized graphics used more often in today's gaming? The technology is there to do it, for sure. I guess it's an era that developers would like to forget and resign to the past. That's all from me, folks. If you like this video, then don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up or even a comment if you are feeling bold. Thanks for watching.